So yesterday I read an article that was essentially talking about game leaks and what happens to a development team and their morale and spirits when a game gets leaked. And I wanted to pose the question because this is what kept coming to my mind, which is the current way in which video games are marketed outdated? Now, there's two main ways that games get marketed these days. The first way we'll call the Warner Brothers way, which is where you don't announce anything for a long time. So we obviously know, for example, that Rocksteady is making a game. We have no idea what they're doing. They're not going to say until about 6 months before they're ready for release. So they announce it, tease it for a little bit, show a few trailers, and then it's out. So what they do is they get everybody hyped, and then they use that initial hype to boost the launch of the game. On the other hand, you have what we'll call the Sony marketing style. So you take a game like The Last of Us Part 2, like God of War, like Ghost of Tsushima, like Spider-Man, and you announce it, and then, like with a trailer. So you show us what it is, you show us what the game looks like, you wait maybe a year before showing us anything else, and then they really start amping up marketing, and that whole year people get more and more excited for that game, and then it releases. So those are kind of the two ways of doing it. I think there's flaws with each one, and both of them have issues with leaks and fake leaks and real leaks, just all of them. You look at like Warner Brothers. This Batman game from Warner Brothers Games Montreal, we've known about since 2016. I mean, this has been years, like 4 years that we've known about this game existing. It's yet to be officially announced. And it's not a question as to if that leak in particular of it being a Batman game is fake, because it's been confirmed by multiple reputable sources, and they have started teasing logos that are like the Court of Owls and the League of Assassins. So we know it's Batman, but we don't know when it's going to get announced. And so then we get all these fake leaks of like, oh, it's going to be at the Game Awards. Oh, it's going to be at E3. Oh, and any major event, people are saying the Batman game is going to be there. But Warner Brothers is obligated, or at least they seem as if they're making their team feel obligated to not share any details whatsoever about the game. Now, with a game like The Last of Us Part 2, we just had a major leak, and we've known about the game for the same amount of time. It was announced in 2016, the Game Awards. So we've known about it for about 3.5 years. It's coming out next month, and we just got a major leak that is like, I don't know how many cutscenes were actually shown. Some people claim that they've seen like 2 hours of footage. I only saw like 20 minutes or something, but I've heard all the leaks and rumors, and it's so interesting to see people jump to conclusions. And we can already see just from The Last of Us Part 2, I mean, there's people canceling pre-orders, there's people hating and dislike bombing Naughty Dog and just trying their darndest to destroy this studio's morale. And you can see how that would impact people where this is their livelihood. They work by making games. That is literally their job. They sit down and make entertainment for people. And so to pour this many years of effort into this thing and to have it feel kind of, I don't know, that's got to feel so empty. And ultimately, what do these leakers get? They get attention for like a week. I mean, already The Last of Us Part 2 leak, clickbait articles and everything going around, it's done. It's not a hot topic anymore. People are still talking about it, but it's not like crazy news anymore. So what was the point? And ultimately, the game's going to come out, and it's going to be what it is. There's a lot of developers saying that the leaks actually got a lot of things wrong, which I believe. And the way that they're acting, I'm honestly pretty sure that there's at least one or two pretty major things that are being claimed about these leaks that aren't true. We'll see what it is. I'm still excited for the game. But this IGN article I was reading also talked about another game. I think it was like Starfield or StarCraft or something. I don't remember. I'm not currently on the article, but it was this game that supposedly released in like 3 episodes, but the studio that was helping release stuff didn't know that, and so when they released the first episode, the final cutscene was leaked. And ultimately, this riles up the community and gets everyone all excited, and it makes the developers feel bad. But there's just no point. The game comes out, and it is what it is. And I think that the current leaks are a good example of why video game marketing doesn't work. And it's because ultimately what they do, is they either don't give us enough or they give us too much prematurely. And it was funny because one of the people in the article who was talking about how much leaks hurt game developers was Jason Schreier. And that is like the most hypocritical thing. I'm sorry, like, if you're a fan of Jason Schreier, you won't change my mind. I'm sorry. The guy is such a slimeball. His entire career is just leaking things. He's like, I've certainly made missteps along the way. Like, he doesn't even apologize for what he's done. But like within this year, he's leaked that before E3 was canceled, Warner Brothers was planning a conference with Batman, Rocksteady, Harry Potter, and it was going to be really big. And then like December of 2019, he leaked that, he like leaked details on the BioShock game that got announced then, and like a year before he leaked that there was a BioShock game in production. And ultimately, what he's doing is he's telling people stuff that isn't supposed to be out there yet. Now, there's a difference between reporting on a leak and actually leaking a game. When you're just reporting on something, it's news that's already out there. It's things that, you kind of just got to give your opinion on, because once the damage is done, it's done. However, if you have inside information, to leak it is just scummy. And someone like Jason Schreier, I don't think he regrets any of the leaks he's done. I think he regrets getting blacklisted from some companies and being told, we're going to sue you if you do that again. But I don't think he regrets any of it. And ultimately, I think, again, it just reflects that video game marketing as of right now leaves people kind of high and dry wanting more. And I think that what they should start doing is moving more into how film companies announce that they are going to do films. So, for example, how this would work is very much like how the BioShock 4 announcement happened. You have 2K come out. They basically said, okay, we just opened a new studio called Cloud Chamber. They're going to be working on BioShock games. BioShock 4 is coming within the next few years. They're going into production. We're not quite ready to show anything yet. And there were a few people like, well, if you're not ready to show anything, don't announce it yet. But ultimately, it got people excited. It made the BioShock fans feel validated because we know that we're getting a new game. And it kind of put us at ease because then we're not just sitting playing a guessing game. So we know that there is a BioShock game in development. So then they can kind of take their time. We're not sitting here and we weren't overloaded with like this insane trailer that made us want more instantly. So it gave us enough information to get excited, but it also left us, without so much that we wanted more instantly and that we're going to demand more immediately. It allows the fan base to be patient. So then when they're ready to market the game, then they can announce it. There's already a fan base excited for it, and then they can just, amp up marketing and then release the game. I think that if they'd done the same thing with Batman from the get-go, saying we're working on a Batman game, when it got rebooted, saying the Batman game is getting rebooted, or if they are rebooting the Arkham universe, say the Arkham universe is getting a reboot, and giving us some kind of details on what's going on, I think would put the fan base at a lot more of ease, because then we're not sitting playing a guessing game. And it's something where video game companies are still so coy and they want everything to be a surprise reveal. But it would do them so much better. Like if Ubisoft just came out and said, there are no plans for an additional Prince of Persia or Splinter Cell game in the immediate future, then fans would be upset, but they've been transparent. That builds trust with the company, and it also doesn't leave these fans waiting for a game that just isn't happening. So I think that that's probably the way to go. I think that wouldn't necessarily solve leaks altogether, but it would help us get to a point where leaks aren't so high in demand anymore. We're not hoping to see leaks. We're not hoping that something gets announced, because we would be a little bit more in the know. And I don't think that it would cripple excitement for reveals. In fact, if anything, I think that would do them good. I mean, you look again at like BioShock 4. When they do announce a trailer for that game, people are going to be so excited, and they already have a fan base. But again, as of right now, there aren't really people demanding a trailer. There's people, I'm sure, who want one, but it's nowhere near the level of like, the Arkham community. But you look at the BioShock fans, and they haven't had a game since 2013. I mean, they've waited like, 8 years at this point. Well, 7, but 8 will be what it is, they've waited 7 years at this point, and they're pretty much at ease because of how 2K has handled it, because of the care that they've shown the fans of this community. I mean, they did a big celebration for the 10th anniversary of the first game, and I think that that's really what has been missing. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Should they change the way that video games are marketed? Please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and thanks again so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.